So let's do a short invocation so that we get more inspiration and we are guided. To the Supreme Being, Divine Father, Divine Mother, I say to my teacher, Master Choa Sui, to all the great, great ones, holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, you can think of anyone you want, Lord Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, Buddha, the Messiah, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and to our higher soul, our divine self, to the angels of love, the angels of guidance, the angels of purpose, to the angels who know what we are here to do, who know our future, who know our purpose and plan, to the name makers in the higher planes who have named us and have created a map for our lives, to all spiritual helpers, to our higher soul, our divine self, to all the great teachers, to our higher soul, our divine self, we thank you. We humbly invoke your divine guidance. We humbly invoke that you assign an angel to each of us to guide us through this session so that we may intuit our purpose, that we may liberate ourselves of all false goals and of all inner blockages, and that we may see ourselves in our new life free and happy, prosperous, abundant, and healthy, with eternal gratitude, deep respect, and in full faith and love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. Okay, so before we start with the arithmosophy, first of all, perhaps we should do the workshop part of the arithmosophy now. The workshop part is you calculate your names, your purpose number, according to arithmosophy, is the addition of all the letters of your, let me show you. I'm going to share a screen and show you where it is. So I want you to write down, or you can take your phone calculator, and you, excuse me, and you write down the addition of all the, not the consonants, all the letters of your full name at birth as it is in your certificate, birth certificate, all right? As it is in your birth certificate, all letters, for example, Maria, you just write your name and underneath you write the numbers and then you add them with your calculator. That's the best way to do it. Okay. Now, for people who are Greek, they have to wait a little bit to show them the Greek. There's a Greek person who entered. There's a different alphabet. So they have to wait. I will show them. So please write down. The best thing is if you take a screenshot of this alphabet or if you copy it very quickly. It's just 1 to 9, and then you just go with the alphabet underneath. It's very simple. You add up the single digit numbers. Now, in case you get an 11 or a 22, only in these two numbers, if they come out, then you keep the 11 and the 22, but you also, I mean, you have the 11 and 22, but also you think of the 2 that is produced by the 11 and the 4 that is of that. You listen to both. So I want you to also do your birth date, since we're a few people, because when there's many people, it is chaos. It takes 1 hour for everyone to calculate. This is why I have a program. It's called Pollux. Now, this is going to be like a fraction of Pollux. In Pollux, we do everything: relationships, love, life partner, how to be attractive, how to attract our life partner, how to get our finances going very well, how to, everything, every aspect of life. And we learn everything about ourselves, about our divine timing, when to do things, every year's events. We get to know our character, how to heal our relationships. It's an amazing program. In Pollux, I sent the calculations ahead, to everyone. So if you want, Keep it in mind that this exists. I send all the calculations of the 7 workshops, and everybody gets a book, my book, the physical book I sent to your home, my book Pollux, and also a 45-minute one-on-one with me. So keep it in mind. This, is a very, very amazing program. So today we're going to get a tiny taste of Pollux. Have you all got your numbers? I want you to also add your birth date to a single digit, okay? So that when I tell you what the numbers mean, that you listened with you listen to both numbers. That's better. And the number of your birthday, for example, if you were born in 1980 something, don't forget to add the numbers 1 plus 9 plus 8, right? Don't forget, don't write, oh, I was born the 10th of March of 1980s of 80, of 66. So you forget the 1 and the 9, all right? So, all right, so let's, have you all got your numbers? Asha?
Yes, I have. I
Yes,
have.
yes,
Okay, all right,
yeah.
all right.
28. If 28 comes for your birthday, then how do you?
28 is what? What is 28? Okay, that's the total of all the numbers
Yeah,
together.
the total of the numbers. Yeah.
So that's a 1. It's a 1. So your life path, the number that has our birth date is our life path. And the
Hmm.
number that is our name, comes from our name, is our purpose. All right,
How
let me
do you know how the 28 becomes 1? I didn't understand how to do that.
2 and 8 is 10,
Ah,
and 1 plus
ah.
0 is 1. We
Okay, okay. Thank
reduce
you.
everything to a single digit number by adding them
Perfect.
together.
Thank you. Thank
Okay? You're welcome. It's very simple. It's just numbers up from 1 to 9. We never do any complex mathematics with arithmosophy. Actually, the higher the arithmosophy, the more, uh, advanced, the more small the numbers, the smaller. Actually, yeah, but the number 9 is the highest. I mean, there are 9 numbers, okay? And there are some master numbers. So let's talk about the numbers and what they mean. First of all, your life path is can you see me? Because I cannot see myself. I mean, I can see me can you see me? Do you have a full screen of me? Do you see me?
you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I don't see the same as you. All right. So, okay. So it's better now. Please don't, just let me explain everything to you. Don't speak, because if it's my train of thought. When it gets interrupted, then I have to get again aligned and inspired. It's very difficult. All right. So let me tell you what the numbers mean. So number 1, okay, is the number when your name, your purpose. Today we're examining our purpose, all right? When your purpose is a number 1, this means that you are a foundation for others to build upon, right? This is what you're. Don't write everything. Just you will have the recording, so it's better if you just write your numbers. Um, So number 1 is a foundation for others to build upon. That's what you're here to do. Your mission is to see oneness. Whatever happens and other people, I'm going to say them quickly, the numbers, right? We'll go through them quickly because then we have a workshop. So what happens is that when other people complain and they see, oh, there's going to be war, oh, there's going to be poverty, it's going to be crisis, and people are just complaining, or it's truly events that are beyond, there are earth shattering, very difficult, are in the news, and it's normal to be interested in politics, in what is happening in the world. But your mission is to try to not see this, not to not see what is happening. It is a very fine line. You have to be able to see what is happening, but to not lose the vision of oneness, of the future that is going to be glorious, that is going to be, heaven on earth. That is going. What we're building this now. This is what we are building. We're building a new era where the earth will be at peace. So this is your mission, is to hold this unity no matter what. When you lose that unity and you start, bickering and entering, breaking things like destroying, leaving forcefully a group or a family, or, shattering things, then when you do that, this has karmic consequences they say every cycle, every 7 years or so. So the number one is the inventor, the mystic, the philosopher. The number one has to burn off, is the flame, the spiritual flame that has to burn off the personality, the self-interest, and it has to live in a spiritual light. When you focus too much on materiality, you will be confused, you will be foggy during the day, and at night you will be like a flame, you will be not able to rest properly. So number one is supposed to be very spiritual leader, right? But also you can be a mystic, which means you can be a loner. But your loneliness, you're not supposed to be lonely. You're supposed to learn to delegate. So this is a more practical, exoteric aspect. This is going to be a more spiritual session, and you will see why after in the workshop. Now, number two is the golden body, but two is also mother matter, right? So number two in an ideal form is the golden body of the yogi, develops the golden body. And they are vibrating either to number one, which is spirit, or to matter. Now, because number two is the number of matter, they have to try to vibrate to spirit. Otherwise, they go low. When they're too materialistic, they get weaknesses, they get disease, they get weakness in their body. They feel weak and they get disease. They have their body's closed and their muscles suffer. The body's closed. We have to open our body. We have to stretch every morning, every day, opening our body. This is so important. Our body is our temple, and we have to learn how to liberate ourselves. Today, we will try to liberate ourselves of many things. Also, number two is musical. They love music. Number three is the one that is expression. Okay, also number two in the more mundane aspect, right? So number one has to learn to delegate to others because it's very perfectionist in the more lower aspect, and is doesn't likes to do everything themselves. So they have to learn to delegate. Number two, they are very passive, right? Feminines, mother matter, but so they have to learn to not be. They have to learn to speak at the right time, because otherwise they accumulate, and explode. So they have to learn this. And they have to learn, how to be patient. They have to learn how to be more spiritual, not so focused on detail and materialism, but more spiritual. Now, number three is the child, the divine child, right? It is the child of the one and the two, is the Horus in ancient Egypt. So number three is the number of expression. Number three is here to reveal all that is hidden, the unseen world, the divine for all to see, is a spiritual teacher. Number three always wishes to express number two or number four. Number four is more academia. Number two is more love and sweetness, more feminine. So if it is in your life path, number three, you have come to express, you came in this incarnation to express your name number. So if your life path is a three, your birthday number, then you have to look at your purpose number, and this is what you're here to express. You're here to express something divine, but you have to see what it is, and that is what you're here to express. So you're a peacemaker, you love the angelic kingdom, and if you're Christian, especially Mother Mary, or the corresponding deity. Like, for example, in Hinduism, it is Lakshmi, I think. I don't know in other, in all, I don't know in other religions, the Divine Mother aspect in any case, right? So a number 4 relates to illumination. In a higher 4, may experience illumination in this incarnation. We're talking about purpose, right? In purpose, when your number 4 is in your purpose number, then you desire to do what is in your life path number. That's what you desire to do. It doesn't mean that's what you're here to do. Yes, Maria.
I am so sorry to like backtrack to the beginning. I know that you said it like which one was the life path number and which is the mission purpose. Like
Life
the
path
is the name and purpose is the date of birth.
No. Life path is the birth, the date of birth. And purpose is our name. Our purpose is found in our name. Our
Thank
name shows our purpose in many ways. I have another seminar that is, you see what your name means. It's amazing. Every name in your, every of your names means something, has a different energy that it brings to your life. And every letter has a set of events and a duration. It is incredible. Arithmosophy is a spiritual science. It is a very precise science. So purpose is your name number, right? So in purpose, when it is in your purpose, number 4, you desire to do what is in your life path number. But what you're here to do is you're here to learn, to gain knowledge, also in the life path, you're here to gain knowledge. You're intellectual, you need to have physical and mental strength. So if you know someone who is not educated and therefore they have a craving to become educated, they have a craving, you should ask them, go to university. Now you can go online or you can register. I mean, it's very important for them to gain knowledge, but they also physical and mental strength. They always want to excel in both aspects. And they are protectors of the family, of their country, they're brave. And they are the ones who are bringing the fuel in the family. They work a lot. So it's better to do something that you like if you have to work a lot in an incarnation, right? Now, they love land. They love to have their own home. Their home is their heaven. So, a number 4 really is a loyal, really loyal. I would say a perfect husband, but at the same time, if you're not compatible with the 4, it's not a perfect husband. So their voice, what shows their state, whether they're in a high spiritual state or whether they are, confused and in a lower state and upset, is their voice. Their voice is very sweet when they are spiritual, and when they're in a state that is not so high, it is coarse. It becomes broken or coarse. You can tell the number 4 from their voice. And the 4, their test, their karma in this life, in a way, it is that it will be tested with co-workers, and it fails if it treats co-workers badly. It has to be fair to all. Now, number 5. Number 5 is a number that is very, very beautiful. It's a number of power, of life, of harmony, refinement, love, marriage. Is a number of marriage. Is a number of the person who studies the unseen world, who studies spiritual things, is a spiritual scientist in the highest form, is someone who's here to write books of spiritual science. They seek knowledge of the G note. I don't know if any of you is following spiritual, studies, especially with a certain master. So they seek the knowledge of this, and the number 5 seeks the knowledge of the second, not the lowest octave, the one above, which is the emotional, the astral body. So it seeks the knowledge of the G note and on that octave of the astral. So their life is full of bold events of short duration. Everything changes, and they're supposed to make mistakes. They're supposed to have experiences, and especially they're very loving, and perhaps they're They have many lovers when they're especially young, and they have to have no guilt, because this is what they're supposed to make, to they're supposed to answer life's not temptations. They're supposed to learn from their mistakes and learn to accept responsibility for their actions later on. But in early life, they're supposed to make mistakes to gain the experience. What they're doing is gaining experience for their soul. That is their mission. A higher five will know the thoughts of others, but must not use this of course, in a selfish or, way, or for any profit, just to help others, or to protect themselves, right? They're the most fascinating and charming numbers, they're really beautiful. And if you are number five and you're living alone and you're having a monotonous life, you're really missing the lessons of this incarnation. So don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to make changes. Now, number six is related to wealth, to success, to the family, to the children. And number six is the nurturer, is the one who loves, who is the artist also, the creator. Their voice is the tool of the number sixes. They're very, very intuitive. And they're here, their highest mission is to develop their intuition, right? But their daily mission is to use their voice in order to, in order to help others, either to coach them, life coaches, artists, even chefs, because chefs nurture others, can be number six, and teachers, they're very, very good artists. There are people who are here to help others. They're very good health workers. They're very psychic, but they must never labor. And number six is not a number of someone who should labor. And number six is the number of someone who should work from home. You cannot have, first of all, if you're a number six, you can relax because you don't have to have a job. If you have a job that is a repetitive job, you have to go to an office, then you're really out of your, especially in your life path, you're really out of your, mission. And it's very strange because usually number sixes are not even, they never have to have a job. They're usually self-employed, or if they work for someone, they can make their own schedule. They're freelance. They love to work from home. And number six must not labor. They must work from joy. On a day when you don't feel inspired to work, don't work. Do something else. Do laundry, whatever. Don't create. Don't create forcefully. You're strangling your soul. Now, number seven is a very aloof, mysterious, will open up and give the treasures out whenever it, whenever it wants. You don't approach the number seven, and number seven approaches you. The number seven chooses when to give the treasures. They're in an incarnation of rest and study, research, analyze. They are very good authors. They have to undergo mental tests, and perhaps if they're spiritual aspirants, perhaps they have to arrive at the third initiation, when they're not in alignment with their higher soul, they feel very, very restless. You feel unrest. What happens to number seven when they fall, when they're not at all in alignment? They start talking about trivia. They can't focus on spiritual things at all. They start talking about trivia, and their life becomes trivial, and then they lose all their happiness and their health even. It's very important for number seven. So you can heal this if you are in this position. You have to bring all the force of your higher soul and invoke and, meditate and become spiritualized. Otherwise, you're really going to lose everything, perhaps, and suffer. And number 7 has to learn how to be inclusive, all-inclusive, and not to be, looking down on others. So number 8 is a strong character and is a broad, they do broad moves. They are strong, they're brave. They see the world through their own spine, through their own strength, through their own character. So they have this strength to see everyone else and to be true leaders. They're very connected to the Buddhic plane, and they see the spirit in everything. The higher eights, they can see from the mineral to the world teacher. They see the energy that unites everything. They can have oneness, And number 8 is a number of freedom. They're really freedom incarnate. In an emergency, in a crisis, number 8 knows exactly what is needed for themselves and for others. But they have to be, they're intuitive, they know exactly what to do, they're guided, but they have to be unselfish in order to keep this gift. And number 8 can either be, of course, a young soul or can be an older soul. And number 8 has to recognize at one point that this gift of just knowing, it's a Buddhic plane, it's like silent knowledge. This gift is something they have earned in past incarnations. And it's something that they have to, they are meant to be investors and builders of homes. They're supposed to be creating things for the physical needs of humanity and to be doing these things, not for themselves in a selfish way, but for others. So when they're not like this and they're focused only on selfishness, what happens is they acquire immense poverty consciousness. All they're thinking about is how they're lacking money. And they're really going down and down and down. So they have to be aware of the divinity in their gifts, right? Number 8 is a very high number. And number 9 is the highest number. Number 9, well, it's not the highest number. 11 and 22 are higher in a way. But number 9 is the highest of the 9 numbers. It is a power. It has a power to express good and evil. So number 9 creates, in a way, its own law just by its speech. It vibrates to law. It's very forceful. It's the number 9 is the 9th letter of the Greek alphabet theta, which is theos, from where theosophy comes from, like means God, So it is the 9 is the most divine number. They vibrate to the mind, to the mental plane. But what happens, and they are humanitarian, and they are the ones who they will only be happy if they have brotherhood of man. They like groups, they like to create, um, these whatever, all these people who want to have a beautiful estate and to have many people living together, or communities, they're communal. And they're the ones who will always help you no matter what. They will rush to help everyone. They become burdened. That is the problem. They have to learn to take care of themselves so that they are radiant and they can give. Now, another problem with number 9 are very loving, right? They're so loving that they have so much love that their home is always safe. Because love is it's a superpower. Can you imagine preparing a meal for friends who will come and have dinner at your place, and you're cooking and you're listening to music and you have lit candles and everything? Nothing can happen at these moments when you're like that. When you're in this atmosphere and you're full of love, nothing can happen. You're, in medieval times when they had crusades, the armors, sometimes they had hearts on. This is it's a medieval symbol. The heart, you know why? I have found this out by myself, actually. I don't want to be proud, but it's true. Once I looked at the bird and I was a bit clairvoyant. So I looked at the bird and I saw a green heart where I looked at it. And I understood that the reason why I saw a green heart on the bird because I looked at it, I felt love and I saw a green heart. So I realized this happened because the eyes converged. The look of love had a slight they converged a little bit, and that created the shape of a heart. So when the eyes have the shape of they see a heart, the heart opens automatically. So you cannot be ferocious on the person who is having a heart symbol. You understand? That's why in ancient Greece, they used to make rooms where they would have hearts, like a heart wreath around the room. So one heart would look in, one out, one in, one out. They were all connected with little branches. It was like a thing around the room. So it was protected. It was a protective symbol. You can have a heart at your door. It's going to be protecting you because the person who looks at it has their eyes automatically converge to the state of love. It's amazing. Our eyesight is a tool. Like, for example, when you're looking down and you're walking, you can be depressed because you're looking in, you're thinking. Usually when we're thinking about our problems and about ourselves and all that. When you're looking straight ahead, the horizon, you're more focused, clear. When you're looking up, you're more happy and optimistic and spiritual. And this, you can just try it. When you're depressed, just look up in the sky and you will see how your eyesight, your eyes have functions that, determine your mood. So this is related to the note D, number 9. And, when the note D can bring past incarnation memories and treasures from the past to number 9. But they have to be advanced souls, otherwise, So their number, what happens to the 9, their test and their karmic test, is that they purify the lower bodies, they have good character, and then what happens is all these temptations come to them, especially temptations, they can fall because of money and love. And the temptations come to them and rush to them from outside. They're not their own. You know how saints are tempted sometimes. So number 9 is like that. So these are the numbers. This is the meaning of the numbers. Let me just a second. Let me open up Zoom. Okay. All right. So let's now discuss what is the ingredient of our lives. What is the problem? Why are people having any problems whatsoever? Why are we seeking something? The problem is that we are always seeking, we're always wanting something other than what we have, right? That's the main thing. It's because we were brought up in a society and in a world where we are taught since childhood that there is such a thing as an amazing, perfect relationship where you meet someone, you kiss, and then forever, the film ends, the end, and then, like in romantic comedies, they make up and then it's the end of the story and then they live their whole life happily ever after, or you get a beautiful home or you get a lot of money and then you're happy. This is really not true. The problem is that we are having too many desires and expectations that life, should be perfect, first of all. And then we expect life to be, we expect that life should, at one point, if we try hard enough and we do the right things, it's going to be amazing. And that's not necessarily true. All life, according to the Buddha, is suffering. Now, I don't want to tell you that your life will be suffering, but life is a lesson, a set of tests, right? It's a school. We're here to be tested. If we pass the tests easily, then we move to other tests, easier tests. So through Arithmosophy and through everything, we can see that if we are in alignment with our soul, then this is when we are the happiest. And when things come to us in a flowing way, when you're in the flow, things happen. For example, if you get an illness, you don't have to get an illness, but you can get symptoms of something. I was posting this on Facebook recently. You get symptoms, and then you're panicking. Oh my God, what is this? What is this symptom? And what is wrong with me? You do tests, of course, you have to do to know what is wrong. But instead of panicking, it's better. And instead of saying, no, I will say nothing, there's nothing wrong with me. I will overcome this and there's nothing wrong. Yes, you will overcome this, but not by saying there's nothing wrong. In Greek, illness is asthenia. Asthenia means the non-courage, non-stenos. Stenos is courage. Having no courage to see the root cause of the problem. So when this happens and you have any symptoms, what you have to do, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to change your life so well because it's really a gift, illness. What you have to do is you have to just say, okay, I will see everything I don't like about my life. What is it I don't like? Do I have good friends? Do I have a life partner? Do I have the home that I want? Do I have the work that I want? And do I have the finances that I want? What is happening? Do I live the life that I want? Because today, you see, most people are running around to make time because time is like, we're full of so many things that we have to do. Instead, we should be more reflective, the Tibetan master, Lord Jalkul, says that people who think they are fantastic because they do a lot and they work a lot, they're not so intelligent because in reality, what you have to do is you have to be doing and stopping to reflect. Having an event happen to you and processing it, understanding it. You have to understand, we have to know ourselves deeply. And the only way to be initiated is to be knowing ourselves on all levels, all our bodies, to know our race, to know who we are, to know everything. So in reality, if we do not process, and in today's life with electronics, we do not process. Sometimes I used to cook and I would put the news and listen to, geopolitics analysis that I like. And I would be cooking and listening. That is not allowing us to process. You have to process, you have to have quiet, you have to have repose, doing nothing. A friend of mine used to say ceiling therapy. She would, ceiling therapy. Yeah, when I was younger, when I was 16, I would do a lot of ceiling therapy. Because the ceiling is like a white screen, and then you can really see things. You can visualize, your thoughts are more, projected, not on the ceiling, of course, but in your mind. It's easier when you're looking at a blank place. So we have to process. It's very important to process. If we don't process, all we do is accumulate. We accumulate, and then crisis comes. And we do have 3 crises during life. A crisis around 25 years old, a crisis around 50 to 55 years old, and a crisis around 62 to 63. And if we are not useful to ourselves, we're not happy, we're not useful to anyone else, we're not happy with our life, we don't want to live, we don't want to serve anyone, we don't want to help anything, we don't want to do anything. At 63, the soul may take us back, pull out and say, okay, thank you. You've been of use. Now I'm pulling out of the body, right? So we have to be, we have to process, we have to know ourselves and we have to be happy. We have the right to be happy. And actually we have the obligation to our higher soul to be happy. There's no way to sacrifice your life for others and to be unhappy. Mother Teresa, she was very happy. She was radiant. When you see people who did a lot of service, They were happy. If you sacrifice yourself doing something you don't like, then you're just wasting an incarnation. You're supposed to be happy, radiant, full of golden light. Every cell of your body has to be full of light. So in reality, that means we have to be in alignment with our soul. And that means we have to be in our purpose. We have to know our purpose. We have to be, fulfilling our purpose. Now, your particular purpose, the way that it will manifest, I gave you a spiritual explanation. I can talk to you about every number for days, but your spiritual purpose is in these numbers that we talked about. But the exoteric part, how it's going to manifest. Are you going to be a teacher? Are you going to be a healer? Are you going to be an artist? This is according to your heart's desires. There is in your heart that, your angel who knows. So you have to meditate and intuit what you are here to do. We're going to do a little visualization in a while. So let me just tell you also that we have so many blockages because we have false goals, first of all, that are placed there by our family, our loved ones, society, our friends. We were brought up, oh, you're going to, wow, what an artist, what a great artist. And they bring up the child that has no talent. Or, for example, this one, oh, you're so crafty. You're going to be a great mechanic. And the person doesn't want to be a mechanic, wants to be a businessman. Or the people, parents interpret who you are and they tell you who you are. And in the first 7 years of your life, this is it, you're formed. But of course, the universe, God, your angels are always making sure that you are able to find what you want, right? What is in your heart. We all know what we want. When we're children, actually, it's easier to find our purpose than when we're older. Because when we're older, if your purpose is to be a poet, let's say, right? Your purpose is to be a poet. So now you are a healer and a accountant, for example, because you wanted to be a poet. You wrote poetry, but then you had to do something to live. Is it easy to imagine that you're going to become a poet and you're going to be such a famous and amazing poet that you will even be able to make a living out of that, or that you will be, it's very difficult. When you're a child, you know what you want to be, and that's why we have to find that thing which we imagined we will be when we were children, right? So we have these false goals coming from society that are covering up all the time. They're putting layers and layers on our true heart's desires. And then we become afraid, we have trauma, we have neurosis, and then we cannot really look at what we want. Also, we have blockages, all right? One blockage, one thing is the collective state, the news, the world, what is happening in the world. We really have to detach from that. We have to understand that this is something that politicians and above politicians, they're just pawns. They're just pawns of people who are super, super rich, who are, moving the world. So they are creating always a story for us to be losing our money, and saying, oh, okay, thank God I'm still alive. Thank God I have my health. Thank God in my country there is no war and I have a roof over my head. But of course, they're taking all our money at the same time. So this is what is happening in reality. Now, we have to detach from that, because in any country, in any city, in any area, there are super rich people, super poor people, super confident people, super poverty consciousness people. So you have to choose, what do you want to be? And the moment you accept, or the moment you find the courage to see what is in your heart and what you want, you don't have to, without thinking, how will I ever do this? The moment that you can visualize and you can imagine that you allow yourself say, yes, I want a husband who respects me. I want a companion who is not abusing me verbally, is not treating me badly. For example, this is an extreme, but it is happening all around us. Or I want better friends. You have to enlarge, because also we have toxic people in our lives. We have toxic people. Toxic people are people usually whom we love, whom we feel sorry for, whom we know that we don't want to abandon them, because what will they do without us? But when they meet us, perhaps they will be upset. They will like to gossip. They will like to uh, say negative things. They will be jealous of us. They will envy. Whenever we share something, this will, just our project will be ruined. So these friends, they're really not your friends. They're not our friends. So we have to remove them. Even if we are guilty, if we feel guilty, we feel, pain for them, we feel sorry for them. But it is, they will find they will have, don't worry about them. They will have the people always on where they want to be. But if you want to be somewhere better, if you want to enlarge, if you want to expand, I want you to think now of people who you think are better than you. I want you to think of people, one person that you know who is, for example, more prosperous than you, and they would want you let's say that you go to a party and you meet someone who lives in the best area where you are, and they have a lot of money, and they like you, and they would like a female, the same, a friend. And they would like you, and they would like to invite you to their home, and you're thinking, but then if they see my home, for example, you may be super prosperous, but someone at another level where you don't feel that you are equals, I want you to think of that person. This is where you belong. You belong to that level where you think you're beneath. When you expand, I want you to think of people who are more intellectual, more educated, more loving, more kind, more civilized. This is where you want to be. So you have the right to be there, right? This is where you are when you expand. So on every level, prosperity, gentleness, refinement, love, being with friends, having a beautiful family, having a beautiful companion, having an amazing home, having prosperity, all these things you can have if you believe, if you allow yourself to rise to a higher level. Now, to rise to a higher level, you have to let go of the lower level. How is it possible to retain the lower level? Grab on it, be tied to it. Is it possible to have all your clothes of all your life in your closet? No. Is it possible to have all the people of your life since you were born? It's not possible. So if you have people, I'm not saying let go of poor friends. No, I'm saying let go of toxic people, right? We have to be all inclusive. We are all human beings. We don't judge people by what they have, but you have to be able to be the soul moving in all life strata in the same way, but without accepting toxic people in your life. You have to find the strength. You find excuses in the beginning, they will get the message. People get it. They know it after a while. And with people who gossip, all you have to do is you have to say something positive. When they gossip someone, they say something negative about someone, you have to say something positive, then their thought form will not find food in you. So they will not want to be with you after a while. They will avoid you. You will see. So, we have to, in reality, even if we have it's amazing how things change. Even if we have an illness or if we have a bankruptcy, whatever, the moment that we are able to see what we really want without allowing that worm of doubt that is saying, oh, so how can I have this? How can I be there? Without that, The moment we allow to see, you say, okay, this is what I really want. I'm not going to pretend I want to be, for example, a saint, although I would like that, but not in this incarnation, perhaps in the next one. So, you know, I want this. I want this home. I want this life partner. I want to be an artist. I want to be creative. I want to do this. I want to be a musician. I want to be, the moment you see what you really want, I want to build houses. I want to be a realtor. That's all I wanted all my life. It's possible that that's what you want, the moment you find what you really want to do and you allow yourself to accept it without, yes, but this, but it's not possible. My family will not let me, my husband will. The moment you see this and you acknowledge it and you say, yes, I will do this. I don't know how it will happen. I will not do this. The universe will do this for me. So I will do it. That's what I accept. Yes, I want it. And then what you do is you start by not doing the wrong things. It's like divine willpower. What is it? It is the power to refrain from unwholesome actions and behaviors and the will to do what is right. So we have to exercise this to ourselves. The power to refrain from being with people who lower us. I mean, you're meditating the whole week, then you see a toxic person for the weekend, and then they take all your energy, you're a wreck. Or, instead of taking walks in nature and enjoying life, you watch Netflix, I'm not saying never watch a film, but we have to do what is right for ourselves. And we have to do that for our body, our physical body. Our body has to move. We have to be unlocking our body constantly. Our body cannot be locked, We have to drink a lot of water because dehydration creates depression. 85% of humanity is dehydrated and they're depressed to some extent, not clinically, but depressed. So we have to take care of what we eat heals us. It is amazing how you have to see what is wrong with my body. Okay, let me do a little research. What are the foods that heal that? What are the foods and herbs that detox the liver and this and that, the kidneys, whatever. So after that, we have to exercise. We have to take walks in nature, not lifting weights. Allowing our body to be happy in nature, allowing our child nature and smiling a lot and being happy. A pet helps a lot. If you have a dog, they will take you out for walks. They're fantastic. I have dogs, so. Now I have only one dog. My dog passed away recently, my other one. I had 4. Now I'm left with 1. But it's, it's so cute. It's an amazing dog. I adore. Animals are really a blessing to humans, they're a blessing. And cats also. Cats, you know what cats do? They come to you, you strike them, you stroke them, and then they vibrate in their aura, and they balance yours. So if you're sad, they will balance your sadness. If you are anxious, they will balance your anxiety. They're like a how do you call it? Bioresonant. They're natural bioresonance machines, cats. That's what they are. It's amazing. Okay, so let's do now a little workshop, all right? And let's try to allow ourselves, you have nothing to lose. Have no guilt, have no shame, have no fear, to just allow yourself to imagine yourself, expand it, to imagine yourself living the life of your dreams and expand it. For example, let's say you have an income that is limited, or you have an income now. I want you to think now, what is the income you would like to have? Just think of that. What income would you like to have? Really? And now I want you to expand this by 40%, 30 or 40% more. Because when we expand what we expect to, that is expanding, really stretching our limits and breaking barriers. There's no limit to what you can want. So let's do our workshop. If you don't have a bucket of salt water, I want you to visualize next to you a cauldron of fire. Now, at the end of the workshop, we will do this, and the flames will disappear, like when a lighter is put out, you just leave the thing and the flame disappears, and the cauldron will also disappear. But if I forget to do this, because sometimes I do, I want you to do it after, when you remember it. I want you to say, cauldron of fire disappear, and go 3 times like this. It's not magic, it's a mind thing, but the energy, when you do it, the energy follows, right? So you don't want to have an energy of fire cauldron in your home, right? You don't want to have this because, it's bringing fire energy. You don't want this. So let's do this. Let's do this workshop now. I want you to relax. And sit very comfortably. Inhale peace. Hold. Exhale stress. Inhale love. Inhale a lot until your abdomen is filled. Your entire body is full of love. Hold. Let it resonate in every cell of your body. And exhale anger, stress, hatred. Inhale happiness. Inhale deeply. Hold. And exhale sadness, depression. Now I want you to visualize a screen of white, brilliant light ahead of you. And we're going to deposit on that screen words and images, memories of moments. And when you put a moment there or a memory, I want you to just leave it there and not think of it anymore, because when you think of it more, you take it back into your aura. So I want you to now think of your blockages created by your family. I want you to think when you were a little child, all the times you heard that you cannot do this, and also all the false things that you are not, and you were told that you are, and all the trauma that you have as a child, abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever you may have suffered. Just put it on the screen. If you don't want to be thinking of the instances and you don't want to be putting memories, just put the words sexual abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse. Then in school, being laughed at, being mocked, feeling exposed, feeling shy, your shyness, your fear, feeling that you're not intelligent enough, being punished, being publicly humiliated, all these memories. Put your fear of public speech, your fear of exposure. Then remember your first loves when you were perhaps abandoned or laughed at deceived, betrayed, hurt, or your mistakes that you left someone really good because for whatever reason. It's good, it's okay, because that was not the one. And you put fear of abandonment, fear of ridicule, trauma, put it all on the screen. Then think later, all financial issues, problems, whatever may have occurred in your life, or think of things you wanted to have but turned out differently. For example, you wanted to live in a different place or you wanted a different home. Think of, not the ones you wanted, but the things that you don't like about your life. Think of moments of stress in your relationships. Perhaps you have friends, but you feel lonely. Put loneliness. Insecurities, low self-esteem, guilt, shame. Put the word anxiety on the screen. All your anxiety about the future. There is no future. There's always now. In the future, when we are passed away, then we will have no worries. We will just have to remember our life and to see how many opportunities we missed out of being closed and afraid. Our low self-esteem, our fear. And now in fear, let's put fear, collective fears, fear of war, fear of riots, fear of violence, fear of burglars coming into your home. This will never happen, especially if you meditate even once a month. Fear of, well, it's better to pray every day. Fear of poverty, homelessness, seeing all these populations homeless today. Sometimes we think, what if I lose everything? And you may think that, especially when we age and everybody passes away around us. People start to pass away, after you're 60, 70, then people start to pass away. And then fear of poverty, extreme poverty, fear of hunger, of thirst, of war, of having no electricity, no internet, fear of having no car, of having no mobility, fear of illness and of being, losing our health, fear of poverty in general, poverty consciousness. Now I want you to put all the things that are, all your doubt, that all the things that make you feel that you will never make it. This low self-esteem that makes you unappreciative of yourself. That makes you doubt that, I want to do this, but there's no way I will succeed. Put that. Put your doubt, self-doubt. Put your anger toward others, anger toward perhaps your government or your, in general, injustice, anger, hatred, anger toward people who have hurt you, and anger toward people who have hurt you in the past. And in general, your anger inside you, your impatience, your intolerance, put it on the screen. And put self-anger, self-loathing, hating oneself. Put it on the screen. Now slowly you're starting perhaps to float a little bit. I mean, everything is on the screen, not in your aura. And let's put sadness, depression, melancholy, all our sadness, sadness for what is happening in the world, sadness that life was not as we wanted it to be, sadness for things that we haven't accomplished, sadness for not being appreciated by others enough, sadness that perhaps we have not accomplished what we want, and we are not the superheroes perhaps that we thought we were. Sadness for our own failures, and sadness for what is happening in the world. And mourning. Let's put all our negative emotions. And you can just say all my negative emotions. And stress. Stress produced by electronics, stress produced by the news, stress produced by bills coming in, stress produced by levels of attainment and success that you think you have to maintain. Put that all on the screen. And now I want you to raise with your hands, you move physically your hands and lift an imaginary bucket of blue paint. This is Master Co's technique. It's fantastic. Lift a bucket of blue paint with your hands, move your hands, lift a bucket of blue paint and pour it over your screen. And as you pour it over your screen, pour it over, right? It immediately dries and it encloses the screen in this blue envelope. And now I want you to get the screen down, get it down, put your hands up and get your screen down and crumble it. Make it a little ball of screen in one hand. Try to crumble it a lot. Compress it, compress it, compress it, and put it in one hand. In one hand. And I want you to disconnect with it, cut, just if you don't know how to cut like this, and then throw it in your bucket of salt water or in your cauldron of fire. Don't worry about dirty your home. And then go like this and cut again a few times. All right. Okay. And then relax. Relax. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Relax. Sit very comfortably. And I want you to imagine that everything around you is golden. Golden air. It's a golden air around you. Very fine, fine particles of gold. Extremely fine, even finer. Make them finer until you see no particles, but it's golden light. You're in a wave of golden light that is everywhere around you. You're swimming in a golden light. And I want you to see yourself dressed very beautifully and walking on a beach. You're walking on a beach. You have gone on vacation, and you're walking on a beach and you're walking with very light, beautiful clothes. Your body is loose. It can move. It really can move freely. Your skin is radiant. Your hair is radiant. Your bones are strong. Your step is elastic. You're almost not touching the ground. You have no weight. You walk and you're happy. And you're saying, Lord God, thank you, thank you, thank you for making me so happy and for this amazing life. Thank you for allowing me to believe in myself. Now I want you to imagine, visualize yourself walking. You're walking toward your life partner. If you're single, I don't want you to imagine the face or anything unless it comes to you suddenly. But I want you to imagine that you arrive there and you look at them and you have this profound communication through the eyes and you hug. And this is a relationship where you get support, communication, silence, love, admiration, respect, and you're madly in love with this person whom you admire and want to make happy and who makes you happy. Now I want you to imagine that you're in a different setting and you're entering your home with this person. I want you to look at your home. How do you want your home to be? If your home is where you want to be, I want you to imagine how you would like to change your home. Are there too many things that you don't use? Or objects you would like to really get rid of, or furniture that you're bored of? I just want you to allow yourself to imagine the perfect home. It's okay. Nobody's going to charge us. We can imagine the home of our dreams. So I want you to imagine the home of your dreams. It can be bigger or smaller than your home that you have now. I want you to imagine it and to look at the floor. What kind of floor do you have? For example, number 5 likes clay, terracotta. If you're another number, you may like, they also like other materials, but I'm just saying that's their favorite material in many ways. Is it wooden floor? Is it a marble floor? Is it an industrial floor? A stone floor? What kind of floor? Tiles? I want you to visualize your floor. And I want you to look around and see your walls, their high walls, and the windows, or, big openings, uh, doors going to a garden or to a balcony, glass doors. And I want you to see the view. I want you to go toward the window and look out. What do you see? Allow yourself to see the view that you would like to have from your home. Not what you think you can have. What would you like to see? And then, is it a high view? Are you up? Are you high up? Are you in a garden? Do you see a garden outside? Do you have no view and you see only the trees of your garden and the bushes and the flowers of your garden? Or do you see, are you on a hill and you see the view? Are you in a house or do you see rooftops? Are you in New York or you are allowed to want. Don't think that you're wasting a wish, a visualization, by allowing yourself to desire something that you know now that you cannot have. That doesn't exist. Just allow yourself to visualize that which you really want. You want an amazing flat in a big city. What do you want? What kind of life? country, city, small town, village, what do you prefer? Island, mountain? Now I want you to visualize the room and to see that every room and you move into your home, you look at your bedroom, you look at your kitchen, and every part of your home is so new. I mean, it may have antiques, but everything is so clean and there is so much order. And you don't have things that are, you have found the courage to throw away whatever you don't want, you don't use. You threw it all away, and there's so much order and beauty. I want you to now look at a desk or a table where you have your laptop. And I want you to go there, open your laptop, and I want you to go to your web banking. Imagine that you're going in web banking and you're doing tithing for the month. And you're doing a lot of tithing. You're tithing. I mean, you have a lot of money. Go into your account and look, and you can add 1 or 2 zeros to what you have, depending. If you have very little now, add as many zeros as you like. But just expand your finances in your imagination. Think, how much do you think it would be nice to have in your account? You're making a lot of money every month, but look, how much is it okay to have? How much makes you feel safe? Completely safe. And now I want you to go in your web banking and make very, very good tithing to spiritual teachers, to your parents, to organizations. You give money and you're so happy. Like, I'm so happy I can give so much money. You feel so good. Take a deep breath. Now I want you to imagine that you're working at something that you love. You really love it. And you're totally successful in it. You're doing something amazing. You have a meeting very soon in which a lot will be decided about what you're doing. You will decide to go in an even better direction. So you're doing something that you really love that is expanding. It can be something as simple as having your own cafe or having a business that is designing something for people or guiding people, coaching people. I want you to visualize something that you're happy with, happy doing, something really that you love doing. And now I also want you to imagine that your life partner comes and caresses you from the back. He just puts you in his arms and says, "Are we ready?" And you say, "Yes, we are." He says, "Okay, here are the tickets. Hold on to them." And you look down and there are airplane tickets. You're going on a long trip with him. Where are you going? Are you going to Hawaii, to Italy, to Japan, to Peru, to Europe, to Paris, to Egypt? Just think of a destination that you would like to go to. Now I want you to imagine that you have friends who are more refined and that you are more peaceful and refined, and your friends are more refined, and you have a better life, much, much better life. It all happened very suddenly. The moment that you decided that you will have a better life, things started to happen. You met new people, you had new opportunities. All you had to do was to surrender to the flow and not speak about your plans to others. And not doubt and send negative energy. You just said, okay, Lord, I'm going to follow this. Thank you. You were grateful. And now you have a beautiful home, a beautiful partner, beautiful friends. You have more time in your hands. You're living a life that is more one-pointed. You love what you do, and you have help at home. So you don't have to do everything. You don't have to work from morning till night. You do your work, and then you enjoy your life. There is balance between home and career. And life is more simple, more clean, more peaceful. And you have time to meditate, to connect with your higher soul. You have time, and you're more spiritual, and you have time to study and to learn. And every night before you sleep, you read a little, and you're fascinated. You're awakened. You're alive. You're young. You feel so young and so healthy. Now, I want you to imagine yourself. I will not guide you. I just imagine yourself as you would like to be. Let's say that a miracle happened and everything could change. Everything can change, right? In like a short span of time. But I will give you a bit more time and say in a year. Everything is possible in a year. So I want you to visualize yourself exactly as you would like to be, health-wise. How would you like to be, your health? How would you like to walk, to feel? Financially also. How would you like your work to be? Whatever you do, how would you like it to be? Perhaps you don't know exactly, but you know how you would like to spend your day. Would you like to spend it online teaching, for example? Would you like to spend it seeing people in groups, seeing people one-on-one, being in a store, having your own business at home, helping others? What would you like to do? Having your own business, being a very good assistant? Number twos make amazing assistants. I want you to imagine how you would like your friends to be. How would you like your life partner to be? How would you like your home to be? Imagine yourself. You're self-confident. That's what you are. That's what has changed mainly. Your self-confidence, your self-love, your determination to love yourself, to give to yourself what you deserve. And it's not material what it is, what you've changed to. It is spiritual. You're more spiritual. You're more happy. You're more loving. You're more generous. You're more kind. You're more intelligent. You're more learned. You're more wise. You're more beautiful. You accept yourself. You're not trying to look like someone else. You're not trying to look younger. You're not trying to anything. You are adoring, loving yourself as you are. And you have allowed yourself to be your highest, best self. Now, I want you to imagine, to visualize that this vision of yourself is surrounded by beautiful pink ball of light, encapsulated. And that this ball of light, pink light, containing your golden vision, lifts off and goes up to your ceiling, out of your ceiling, 30 meters above, very high up, and goes up and more to be manifested and materialized quickly. You let it go. Disconnect. Now let's invoke to the Supreme Being, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to Master Choa Kok Sui, to all the great ones, Holy Gurus, Holy Masters, Saints, Archangels, Holy Angels, Spiritual Helpers, and to our higher soul, our Divine Self. We thank you for your divine blessings. We thank you for your divine guidance, for your divine love, for your divine healing. We thank you for assigning an angel to guide us so that we may remember how we would like our life to be, how we would like to be ourselves. And we thank you for assigning this angel to remind us and to help us remove all doubt and maintain the vision until it is manifested properly. With eternal gratitude, deep respect, and in full faith and love, thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. Now open your eyes